Our bodies naturally cool themselves by sweating, but when temperatures start hitting the 80s, higher even, sweating just isn't enough. Sometimes it's tough to tell when you've reached that point. Maybe you're almost finished mowing your lawn, or you just want to run one more block to prepare for that 5K. This is Joe Rosler, and he's from OSHA. You guys have created an app, and it's all about putting the dangers of heat-related illness at our fingertips. And I said I was going to have it pulled up. My phone keeps timing out. So what are the dangers of getting overheated?
Well, certainly you hit on one of them there, and that would be the excessive sweating that you might be encountering while you're going through there. Extreme stuff you might get into is you get some dizziness that goes on too. You might end up with some heat cramps where your stomach starts feeling bad, or you might actually vomit at the point. If it gets into a dizziness issue, and you might start lose consciousness of what's going on around you, then we're into some major heat stroke issues, and definitely would need some treatment for those employees at that particular time, or whoever it is in the general public who might come across these type of symptoms. Definitely got some issues there.
And you may think this is a no-brainer. I know when I get too hot, I know when I need to stop. But truly, you know, you think maybe I can just push myself a little more. Over the weekend, I was volunteering down at the Mobile Zoo, and I started getting dizzy. Yeah. And that's a sign of heat exhaustion, right, Joe?
That could be a sign of it. And one of the things that, and I'm going to give you 3 words here that I want you all to know. It's water, rest, and shade. Okay. These are definitely 3 things you need to do. If you start to feel symptoms like this, don't push yourself to that point. Get some water, hydrate yourself. If you feel exhaustion coming along and some other symptoms, you know, take a rest, get some shade. Don't stay out there in the sun, you know, go take those times to go do that. And if you're an employer, do the same thing. Find some areas, take care of these employees and prevent the ultimate heat stroke issues.
And that's what this app is all about, and my phone didn't time out this time, is all about first aid, signs and symptoms. You can go into even more detail where the things that Joe was talking about, how you need to drink more water throughout the day, know what to do in case of an emergency. Even contact information for OSHA is there. So you guys have everything you need to know right here at our fingertips.
Absolutely. And the app is real simple here. It goes through, first off, what you need is the temperature, and I set mine up for yesterday's temperature and humidity because we already know that. And it was 91 degrees with a 54% humidity. Calculate that out, and we were talking the heat index this morning. They were predicting 100. Well, yesterday it was 98.6, which related out to a risk level of what we consider moderate. And then under that, you can hit precautions, and in the precautions it can go through the work, rest, shade regimen that the employer can go through, or the whomever in the public can go through to make sure that you're protected. And then it also goes through some other things that you might want to look into. Wearing light clothing. You're very appropriate today for that. Very light clothing on that.
Yeah, light and flowy.
Light, flowy, loose clothing would be something that you would definitely want to wear there. Making sure that you have the water available for the employees. Training of the employees so that they understand the hazards. Not only so that they understand them when they experience it, but they can see it in their coworkers and they can help treat them. Also, for employers, it would be it's paramount that they understand and know where emergency issues are. Do they call 911 if they see somebody coming? How do we treat an employee that comes across and starts having these symptoms? Put them in the rest area. Maybe put some water on them, put some ice packs under their arms or whatever to keep them cool as they're experiencing these symptoms, and certainly call 911 if it's a heat stroke issue.
And the things you just mentioned, some ways to prevent, and you also mentioned some ways to deal with. And you mentioned some employees. That's one thing I always think about as I'm driving down the road. Construction workers, landscape crews. Some people, we may go out for a few hours a day, most of us in the heat, but some people have to be in the heat all day long. They're working. So that's what you were talking about there. And just some ways for all of us to deal with downloading this app, the OSHA Heat Tool app, from the link on our Studio 10 page on fox10tv.com, could truly save your life. Our bodies can only take so much. So please be careful when you're outside this summer. Joe, thank you so much for being here this morning.